Speaker. This government heard from water users during extensive consultations, especially those affected by the floods, that they needed more time to understand the new framework changes. This is why it is critical that the Water Legislation Amendment Bill 2023 is supported. The purpose of this bill will clarify several provisions related to the new place of take approvals framework to ensure its smooth operation in line with the intent of the Water and Catchment Legislations Amendment Act 2021 and avoid unintended consequences. It does not introduce the framework. In 2021, the Andrews government passed the Water and Catchment Legislations Amendment Act 2021, which introduced a new framework for regulating the place, the rate and time of taking water. Part of this is the place of take approvals framework. Place of take provides water users more certainty about their rights to take water from a river during the rare event of a shortfall and more flexibility to manage their own delivery risk. This allows for better management of the system, which delivers water to rural water users and so protects existing rights and waterways. Following the impact of the October 2022 floods here in Victoria, it became obvious to the Andrews government that farmers and water users, particularly in northern Victoria, have enough on their minds with the flood recovery and that it would be senseless to push ahead with implementing the place of take framework by 1 July 2023 as originally scheduled. Rural and regional Victorians would simply not be able to understand and adjust to the new framework in the timeframe. The bill extends the default commencement date of the place of take approvals framework to 1 July 2024. This extended start date for place of take will ensure that Victorians, especially in those flood-affected communities, are given the time to understand the changes to the framework, as well as allow time for additional consultation. The new framework will replace current complex provisions and make it clearer for existing water entitlement holders when they can use water during shortfall, such as high water demand periods. It will not affect anyone's water shares. Existing entitlement holders can be assured that current arrangements will remain in place in case of any shortfall over the summer of 2023 to 24 peak demand period. This legislation simply gives water users more certainty about their water entitlement when demand exceeds the amount of water flowing down the river. This legislation matters because with climate change expected to increase the frequency of hot days and the length of warm spells, with peaks in daily water demand likely to continue to increase. The River Murray system has seen significant changes over the past 10 to 20 years in both supply and demand for water. Changes within the system and changing demand are making it increasingly difficult to move water to where and when it is needed for irrigation and the environment, which of course can lead to shortfall in delivery. Although such shortfalls in the Murray have been rare, the risk of shortfall occurring is real and is increasing. While we are coming out of our La Nina weather event at the moment, the Bureau of Meteorology has already declared the El Nino Watch. An El Nino event would further increase the risk of a shortfall event in Victoria if we experience lower than average rainfall for a prolonged period of time. As we know, climate change is reducing the overall water in our rivers with more variable rainfall and hotter than average weather. That is why the Andrews government needs to act now to protect the rights of our water users and the environment. The legislative reforms form part of the broader program of work, with Victoria working alongside the Murray-Darling Basin Authority and other southern basin states to improve management of Murray delivery risks and support water users to manage their own delivery risks. I'm pleased that Victoria, under the Andrews government, continues to deliver on our obligations under the Murray-Darling Basin Plan. Victoria has already delivered 826 gigalitres of our 1,075 gigalitre obligations under the plan and will return water to the environment without the need for water buybacks. The place of take approvals framework also accounts for water being taken interstate from Victoria. This is because our water market is interconnected across jurisdictions in Australia, and water from Victoria can be purchased and used in states like New South Wales and South Australia. This demonstrates just how interconnected the Southern Basin is and why Victoria is leading the way with this critical work to protect water users' rights in a shortfall. This benefits all water users, not just Victorian water users. One of the most important technical changes in this bill will enable market transparency related amendments to commence separately from the place of take approvals framework. This means that the market transparency improvements, which the community have been thoroughly consulted on, can be introduced from the 1st of July 2023, earlier than the place of take framework. This will provide additional time for consultation with water users on the rules and regulations that give effect to the framework, without unnecessarily delaying the market transparency improvements. Reforming the transparency of our water market is vitally important work. Water is, as we all know, a limited resource. In Victoria, there is climate change and this will only worsen and challenges will face. This makes market transparency, compliance and strengthening delivery rights more important than ever. The Andrews government in this way is improving accountability, fairness and transparency in our water market and giving the public access to important information about our largest holders of water. The place of take approvals framework, coupled with the transparency measures, will continue to strengthen our water markets and ensure that they are governed fairly for all water users. The place of take approvals framework also strengthens compliance to ensure that if anyone takes more than their approved allocation during a shortfall, they will be punished. This complements the extensive work which has been done in the Victorian water sector to ensure strict compliance measures are in place. In Victoria, we do not tolerate non-compliance with our water laws. Water corporations must undertake a range of measures to ensure that compliance, including water metering, strict reporting, community education and enforcement of these rules. I know that the Andrews government will continue to consult with affected water users and communities as this legislation comes into effect. Information about the new framework has been published on the Victorian Water Register's website to help water users understand and prepare for these changes. The department has been working closely with our declared system rural water corporations, Goulburn Murray Water, Lower Murray Water and Southern Rural Water. I think I need some water, and their customer committees to make sure systems and processes are updated for them to manage their customers' place of take approvals when the new framework comes into effect. Taken together with the 2021 Water and Catchment Amendment Bill, this Water Amendment Bill provides for a stronger framework for Victoria's water delivery challenges and streamlines. No pun intended on that one. Thank you, Member. That was very kind of you. The existing provisions for where water is taken from and how users may store use if it is needed and rationed. I want to reflect on the 90s, which of course we know were quite wet, the noughties, which were dry, and then the buckets in showers, which I'm sure everyone in this house can remember. We don't want to go back to those days, and I'm really pleased that the Andrews government have got an actual plan of attack. I thank the government for their work in delivering these amendments and particularly the Minister for Water, Harriet Shing. I'm pleased to support the Water Legislation Amendment Bill 2023. Thank you.